What is your own salvation? Find out who is saved. If you seek this very you inside you, cannot find it inside, outside, or between your body. So there is no you. Realizing this, you may ask, who am I then? There is no answer for that question. If there is no you, there is nobody asking the question. And nobody getting to salvation. So what is happening? Absolutely nothing is happening. Just one space filled with myriad of appearances being tossed up as the deck of cards. Things interact and coexist together, interdependently, being manifestation of universe, and universe being one Buddha mind. Capital letters. There is no you, no me to be saved. If you and me disappeared, then salvation is already happening. Smiling is a momentary state of mind. What is mind? Smiling. Besides smiling, there is no mind to be found as a smiling entity. Smiling is as natural expression of the universal ocean as farting or swallowing saliva. We think we are mind, but if mind exists, then there must be found. But more one seeks the mind, more or less one cannot find it. Why? How do you know you have mind? Besides thinking and speaking and acting, there is no any entity which you can call mind. If there is no mind to be found, then who are you? There is a question, but there is no answer. Not knowing who or what you are, you know what or who you are. There is dark room, early morning, dawn just began to arise. Who is listening? Who is going to the kitchen to pick up treats for cat? Ask these questions and you find out there is no entity hidden behind these actions. Listening and going occur as naturally as a fart of yawning. One thinks one is listening or going somewhere, yet there is no one to be found listening or going anywhere. All is a spontaneous activity of the whole world, which is one Buddha mind, capital letters. Smiling is a spontaneous reaction as wind blowing the leaves of trees. Who is smiling? Nobody. There is no separate I or self which is doing smiling. All smiling is spontaneous activity of the cosmic ocean, which makes one smile when it must, or cry when it must too. If the I cannot be found inside of the body or outside of the body, no between, then who is speaking, who is writing this message now? No one. Just spontaneous activity of greater power. This power belongs to the ocean of universal water, which makes individual waves to move and act, yet all this movement and actions of waves are possible because the ocean is doing these actions, not the waves. That's a catch. Who's looking at things? Nobody. Seeing is as spontaneous as blowing at the candle to extinguish the flame. It is universe which is blowing, not you, not me. Although there is a feeling I am seeing, in fact, there are eyes seeing and no seer in that seeing. You seek the seer and cannot find. Seeing is a spontaneous activity of universe, the ocean of presence. Who is raising an arm? If there is no self, no I, to do the action of raising the arm, there is an arm rising by itself. More precisely, universe is raising the arm and saying hello to the camera. What was the name of Buddha's nose? Dharmakaya resting in Dharmadhatu. Dharmakaya being permanent is never changing one, filling the space. Dharmadhatu is ever changing multitude of phenomena which are impermanent and transient. These two are inseparable, oneness, being one reality of cosmos and all life in it. If we embrace conditions which trouble us, what is the reason to remove them? Yet if one finds himself in a hot water, one wants to jump out of that hot water because staying inside the cauldron is not bringing happiness and peace we long for. Also, why to go out of samsara into nirvana if samsara does not bother us? If one feels comfortable with pain and anguish, one has no reason to seek any release or freedom from painful conditions, because they are not the source of trouble to her or him. So I'm meditating and practicing Dharma. Even if negative people don't bother you, the fact you must be in their presence may bring a bad taste in your mouth. What to do? That's difficult. I leave it that way. What to do if you are cornered and deceived by others? If you have a valid awakening, that awakening is your calling card. Without having that card, you lose your peace no matter how good is your own heart, how high is your spirit, and how experienced you are in being a do-gooder, and how many people have you given your money for free as an act of charity. Being awake, you are Buddha, and only this one fact can bring a smile on you in the face of trouble. Otherwise you will be down and damped each time things go awry or not as nice as you wish for them to be. The world is yours, but not the car of your neighbor. Try to pick up fruit in a grocery shop without payment, and you would find yourself arrested for shoplifting and thrown into jail. So world belongs to you, but not things which are considered as property of other people. That's a catch. One wants it or not, one cannot take away suffering of the world. Suffering comes from bad karma, and bad karma from bad actions. It is not your action. If it is not your action, it is not your karma. If it is not your karma, it is not your business. Let the world being behave correctly, according to their conscience, and they will be able to leave their suffering on their own power. If beings continue to violate law of karma and continue to commit atrocities and sins, then the consequences will be suffering and misery as the just outcome of their actions and deeds. One may stay in the world until the end of time, but one cannot change other beings' karma. It is each being's business to purify her karma and educate herself in Dharma. Getting an awakening is also a personal matter. One cannot make the other enlightened or make her aware of the oneness of the world and world beings in oneness of one Buddha mind. It is personal choice and individual matter. This one thing you touch with deep awareness. What is it? This occurred as a leaf you are holding in your fingers. What is it? Happiness is a personal choice. It does not come from outside of your own mind. When you are looking at things, if you see them the way they are, you can call yourself a seer. Smile to the other as you smile to yourself. When one smiles, have some smile to your friends as you have to your enemies. Then you don't lose a kick out regret of smiling. Saying nothing is okay. Saying okay is also okay. Want to know Dharma? First learn how to eat your breakfast and how to drink your evening tea. Then learn to fall asleep fast and how to have a sound night rest. After you accomplish this, try sitting meditation. Just sit and enjoy your free time. Sit aware of yourself and your environment. Pay attention for what's going on with you and all around you. The boat is empty It has no bottom and sinks. When the boat is sunk, the moonlight is sunk together to the bottom of the lake. The lake is still and happy. Having nothing is a treasure one needs to keep. One has the whole world for free, but one thinks she has something or nothing. Instead, realize you already have everything. Every problem has its solution. Don't expect anything from yourself. Be ordinary. Don't become a savior of the world. Those who are savior of the world are long gone from the world. You too will disappear one day. So because it is your only business here, save yourself. If a body dissolves into the world, what is left then? Consciousness is also impermanent. It appears and disappears. When consciousness disappeared, where is the self? Remind. Seek it and you won't find anything remaining. Turn into a stone. A stone has no transgressions, so it has no suffering. Opening your mouth, closing your mouth. One must know when to open and when to close one's mouth. Sometimes keep your mouth closed, sometimes keep your mouth open. When you yawn, you must open your mouth. When there is dusty wind blowing, you keep your mouth closed. One can sit all days and nights okay, but there is something like boredom sneaking into such a long sitting. Better sit short sessions and relax at night with a sound sleep. Also eat your fill with good nutritious food. The meditation is more pleasant and gives one sense of happiness. And that is the most important, I think. It often happens that positive people are considered as negative by negative people who show off themselves as positive ones. There is inside. Where is outside? No inside, no outside. Inside and outside, one space. No center, no edges, no subject, no object. Then what? It's hot day today and funny sun. Conceptual thought. Are there anything like that? If you are using thinking to get enlightenment, you only tire yourself in vain. Observe the space, one space, in front of you. recognize one space being identical to one mind. Then your conceptual thoughts may dissolve in that one space, leaving one mind intact and at stillness in present moment. Then there is no even one word left. Even word enlightenment is nowhere to stay or to be found. Today is 30 degrees centigrade and there is a slight breeze blowing. That's obvious, isn't it? Not always those who harm you are your teachers. They give you pain because they want you to feel blue, not to make you happy. If that is true that he says when Chinese police and military are loving teachers of Tibetan people, they teach them Dharma through destroying Dharma. That's a good teacher. Sugar is sweet, salt is salty. What's going out must come back. What's thrown up must fall down. Exactly. So who are you, Mr. Nobody? See Buddha in beings. Then no problem with humanity. Release your grip on the world and forget about your enlightenment. No enlightenment, no teachings, no problem. Blue sky has no problem with passing clouds. When cold, wear heavy clothes. When warm, wear light clothes. That's a blue sky which is calm all the time, or an empty space. No you, no I, no us, no them. Then what? Drink lots of water during summer days. Avoid dehydration. Usually it is so hard to find happiness in this world. Make adjustments to your view of the world and you may find happiness after an adjustment. And that's a friendship with oneself as the other one. I like that part when body disappears. Body disappears, but mind remains intact. Buddha one mind. Capital letters. Bodhisattvas working hard way for those who cannot help themselves. These lab animals, where are they coming from? Who experiments on them? Are those people experimenting on themselves? I think they are. It is about laboratory Texas A&M University doing experiments on dogs in muscular dystrophy experiments, looking for something. A statement to this story changed. They are all beings living a life of Buddha, they know it or not. Nevertheless, One needs to see oneness of our beings in Buddha mind. The one lives Buddha life here and now, in this world of ours. Taking care about all is the job of Buddha. How to accomplish this job? Eating watermelons and avocados together. If ego dives into emptiness, that is great loss of troubles.